Oh, come on, this guy again?
Christian here with cheap beat up Elvis vinyl. No. Okay. Yeah, bud. So, a few Trek's wife, Daisy, and I did a big Mississippi road trip. And we brought you part one of that last week, and now it's time for part two. What we do is we went down to Ocean Springs, Mississippi first. Then we just cruised on back. We hit Biloxi next. Hey. And then after Biloxi, we brought it on into Bay St. Louis. Last week we took a look at Maynard's Records in Ocean Springs. This time we go to Biloxi. We stopped in at a little place called Marley's Records. And it looked a little bit like this.
All right, we're here in Biloxi. Marley's Music. We're gonna go in here, check it out, see what they got. Here's a good sign right here. Elvis. All right, we're at Marley's. Beautiful place. Oh, there's a Dylan poster for you, John, right there. Beatles, there's some Randy Rhoads for you. Kiss. All the great stuff. Willie Nelson at Gillies. I'm sure that's a repress. Here's the Elvis. I already had these, but unfortunately I already had all of these. But he did have some 8-tracks that I picked up and some 45s. And we'll be showing you those in a minute.
Really cool place, really cool guy. Guy that owns his name, Marley. I looked around a little bit. I said, I didn't need any of the LPs. And I said, you got any 8-tracks? And he goes, yeah, I got some 8-tracks. So, and I said, what about some 45s? He goes, yeah, I got a few of them up here. So the first one I found was one that I've been looking for a little bit. A decent one. Little Sister. Little Sister with his latest flame. This one came out in August of '61. What a great A and B side. Both songs written by Doc Pomus and Matt Schumann, Little Sister. And on the record it says, Marie's the name, his latest flame. But on the cover it just says his latest flame. And you notice this one was owned by Bonnie. Okay? Got a few of Bonnie's records that day. It also says here, Bonnie, and she wrote 1961. It came out in August of '61. I was really happy to get this one. I love this record, both sides of it. I think the intro to Little Sister, the guitar on it is just fantastic. Really, really cool. So I was very happy to get that one. Now the prices there were really great. So I was looking through, and a few of them I couldn't tell if I couldn't remember if I had them. So the prices were so good, I just ended up getting all the picture sleeves that he had. So a few of them I already had. Like this one here, Wear Your Ring Around My Neck. Beautiful. Well, one thing I like about this is it had the little 98-cent sticker on it. So 98 cents for a 45 back then, you know, a whole album. But I know it was an industry that was fueled by singles. But that was a little steep compared to the albums, because the albums were probably $4 or $5. I love the back of this one because it has all the other releases on it. It has the singles, the albums, and the EPs. Coming soon, another great Elvis Presley picture, King Creole. Once again, always pushing the next product, which I thought was fantastic. Next one, Only Man Surrender. Another 98-cent sticker on it. As Elvis's guitar with his name on the fretboard. One Broken Heart for Sale. Coming soon. It happened at the World's Fair. Always pushing them. Another 98 center. I Got Stung with One Night. Then they had two copies of this one. Hard-Headed Woman. So I picked them both up. What the heck, the price was great. So what I can do is maybe, you know, pass these along or something. Now you notice this one has Elvis written on it. Now I don't know if Elvis signed that, but I'm going to think that probably the person that bought it did that, because the next one is a decent one and it also has Elvis written on it. Now, I took this handwriting, the Elvis handwriting, and I took Bonnie's handwriting, and I compared them. You might not be aware of it, but that is what I did for the CIA during the Cold War. And the handwritings didn't match. So two different people, so I must have parts of two different people's collections there. Now, they also had some empty sleeves. And as we've discussed here in the past class, if you were paying attention, I pick up, especially EPs. If I see an EP without the cover and it's cheap, I'll pick it up. And if I see an EP cover without the record and it's cheap, I'll pick it up. And then later on, see if I can match them up. And I've had success in doing that. So I did that with this. Picked up Return to Sender. It's empty. But sure enough, I got home and I had 2 or 3 Return to Sender vinyls, so I can match that one up. Same with Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello. Now this was another one that belonged to Bonnie. And you see she wrote on it 1962. Summer of 62. The summer of 62. So Bonnie was buying Elvis records in 61, 62, probably just having a blast. Here's another one here. This was the summer vacation special, and this one belonged to Bonnie. I love this this summer vacation special idea. They did it on a later one. I think it was an Easter special, they called it. And this one was also owned by Bonnie. So she was having a blast with the Elvis records. Now here's one from a little later, Don't Cry Daddy, Rubberneckin'. It's empty, so I'll try and match that one up. And here's a couple of EPs without the covers that they had. This one is Follow That Dream, and this one is Loving You, Volume 1. So I'll just put those on the side, and we'll match them up eventually. I also had a few EPs that I had, but the price was so good, I just said, give me all of them. Tickle Me. Now this one, I can't tell if that says Cavetta or someone just was really struggling with spelling Keith. Either way, it's a beauty. On the back, pushing them once again. Bunch of EPs. Viva Las Vegas. King Creole, Loving You, Kid Galahad, and the all-time best-selling EP, Jailhouse Rock. Here's another one that I've got a couple copies of, but it was so... Oh, I matched this one up in the store. The cover was empty, and so I put the cover on the side, and then I found the record, so I matched them up in the store, picked it up. This is fantastic, how they have the little synopsises of the movie, for the ones that were from movies. Beautiful copy of Elvis Sings Christmas Songs. Now on the back, they got a bunch of EPs listed. And they also have this. Elvis Presley's third motion picture, Jailhouse Rock. Comes at the height of the phenomenal singing star's career. All songs in Jailhouse Rock are available on RCA Victor Records. EP, Christmas EP. Let's push some other EPs and some albums. Oh, and movie 2. The promotion machine. You could study their promotion on Elvis. Of course, it was easy to promote him because people loved him. So it made it easy to promote him. So then the more you promoted him, the more people loved him. See how that works? King Creole. Picked up another King Creole. I don't have the volume 2 of this, but I will find it one day. I have the vinyl of it, but I don't have the cover. And here on the back of it, also here had Elvis's great new single, Hard-Headed Woman. Don't ask me why. And this was the EP that I was really happy to find because I did not have this one. Love Me Tender, a really good copy of it. I had only seen this one once in the wild, and it was when I first started collecting. And I didn't even think of buying it. I just saw it, and I think maybe I started collecting this maybe about a month later, and it was gone. And here's the, this came out in November of '56. 20th Century Fox's Love Me Tender brings Elvis Presley to his public for the first time as a film star. Thousands of followers who carried Elvis, bop, 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 bop. And then it says, followers of the singing Elvis should be delighted with these songs, for they reveal a style of greater depth and conviction than that found in anything he has previously recorded. So Poor Boy, according to this, Poor Boy and to say that Elvis has outdone Elvis is quite something, but this incredible young singer has truly managed just that. And then he brings out the 8-track. So I picked up a few 8-tracks. This one, I'm sure I already have, but I don't know if it's in the green shell. I guess the shells were just whatever that manufacturing plant had. I don't think there's anything too great about that. I love this color scheme that they used here on the Worldwide Gold Award Hits Part 1 and 2. That lime green with the yellow and white and on a white shell. Looks nice. Burning Love, baby. This is the third one I have of Burning Love, and each one has a different shell. And they're all on Pickwick Camden, the Burning Loves. I think I have this one on a white shell, and I think, a maroon shell. So, there you go. Next up, we got this one. We talked about this last time, how they had these sliding covers on some of the 8-tracks, you see? And they would have the cover here and the info, and then the shell itself just had this sticker on it and the side. So it didn't have any reproduction of the cover because I figured the cover was already on here. So this one is Gold Records Volume 4. And this one has someone hit it with a March 26th, 1971. What were you doing on March 26th, 1971? Do you have any witnesses to substantiate your whereabouts? Just checking. By the way, you're not free to leave. You're detained. And the last one that I picked up was a bootleg. This one's stamped March 13th, so maybe it was 71 also, but this is Elvis Presley, Elvis Country. And you notice there's a picture of Elvis on a horse. No. These little bootlegs. And I got a few Elvis 8-track bootlegs. First bootleg I ever saw in my life, my older sister came home with a Led Zeppelin 4 bootleg. I said, what is that? She says, Led Zeppelin. I go, that's, even as a little fella, I go, that's not it. There's no cover. It's just a green sticker that says Led Zeppelin and the names of the songs. And she says, yeah, but it was $3 or whatever. And I go, good purchase. See, already, cheap beat up Elvis, I was thinking, I guess the 8-tracks were so easy to bootleg. I had a stereo system, had a stereo that had AM, FM on it and a turntable, and it also had an 8-track player on it, but you could record the 8 tracks too. So many times I had an 8-track player in my car. So many times I would buy an album, come home, play it, and the first time I played it, I recorded it onto 8-track, and then I would put the album back in the sleeve, and I would just listen to the 8-track in my car, maybe in my room. So the record would only get played once, but that's how easy it was to bootleg them. So I could have bought 10 blank 8-track cartridges, which were very cheap. You could get like a little 6-pack of them. And I could have ran off 10 copies of them and sold them to my friends for $3. See how easy it was to bootleg? But I didn't do that. No. You ever think of doing anything like that? Bootlegging your kibble? So we had a very successful, beautiful Mississippi run. Daisy got some ice cream. She enjoyed it. And we picked up some great, cheap, beat-up Elvis vinyl. But we still got one more stop to make, and that's Bay St. Louis. And a couple of them that I found there, I'm baffled. You'll see that next time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe and hit the like button and subscribe. If you hated it, subscribe twice. Remember, we had a bunch of presidents, a bunch of governors, a bunch of mayors. We had some dog catchers. We had some astronauts. People forget about the astronauts, how amazing that was. Guys walked on the moon. And I'm sitting home watching TV. Changing the channel. Guys walking on the moon. And I go, let's put on Gomer Pyle. So we've had all that go on in this country, but we've only had one king. Thank you, Elvis. Okay, you have fun? People were nice to you?
Okay, fine.